Hey everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Interstellar Modeler. In this video, what I'm going to do is preview this model here of Moonbase Alpha from Space 1999. Now, if you're not familiar with the series Space 1999, it was made in the 70s by a gentleman named Jerry Anderson, and it's based on the premise of the moon getting blasted out of the Earth's orbit. In this universe, the moon is being used as a depository for Earth's nuclear waste, and a terrible accident causes a huge explosion which sends the moon hurtling out into deep space. Now, as crazy as that idea may seem, the show was entertaining, and what particularly made it so were the special effects. And the guys responsible for the special effects and the designs of the ships and the base you see here were some individuals that worked on 2001 Space Odyssey. So what you see, of course, is the main moon base, and Space 1999 also has the Eagle, which is a very iconic design, and really, I think this show sported some of the best special effects and miniature effects of the 70s. Now, this model was originally released way back in the 70s, and the problem with the original release was the fact that it was kind of inaccurate. The biggest thing was that it was missing 2 of the landing pads, and the model now has been reconfigured to include 5 landing pads, which is what we saw on screen. Also, the Eagles apparently were too big in the original kit, which I did build at some time ago, and but these Eagles now are supposed to be sized accordingly. The kit also comes with a replica of the command center, and this, of course, is the configuration that we see in the first season. And so here we have all the parts now for the command center. We have the figures here that represent Moonbase Alpha personnel, of course the walls, the ceiling, and the desks, and so forth. Also included in the kit are new decals that I remember the first release did not have. I remember they had the command center main screen decal, but not really anything for the computer consoles that are found, or the computer banks that are found along the side wall, and that goes here. So what I plan to do actually is build this part for sure. As I mentioned, I have built this model before, but I have since sold it. And you can see here that it comes with a base, which I'll show you in just a second. So the model itself spreads out to a fairly good size. So since I don't have room for the entire base at this point, I'm going to work on putting together the command center. Okay, so here we have the parts for the rest of the base, and this is really interesting. They've actually included parts from the old model kit and the way that they used to package it versus all the new pieces that they've added here. And again, they've included all the landing pads now, which amount to 5 of them, and you can see here that they look way different than what was originally included. So you can see these are the original pieces that were released many years ago with the kit, and you can see how the sides of the landing pad came down as a straight edge there, and really not a lot of surface detailing that didn't look very accurate overall. And you can see the size of the Eagles here were fairly large, so yeah, I guess these were definitely out of scale with the base. Now if we go over to the tree that includes now the new pieces, you can see how the detailing is different, and the sides of the landing pads are more angled like they should be, and the docking arm area has better detailing as well. And you can see that the size of the Eagles are different. They are smaller for sure. So these are supposed to be more in scale with the base itself. In addition, the first release did not include decals for the landing pads, and that's what we have here. And these actually look pretty cool. You can see it has scorch marks here in the center and lines for the deck plates and so forth. So it's looking pretty good. And you can see over here they've even added pieces that you can attach to the landing pad here to give more detailing for the docking section. So that's pretty nice as well. And as for the buildings, they pretty much look the same to me. There's not much change. I'm not sure if they actually detailed the surface a little differently. It does look a little different to me. I just can't quite remember. But yeah, these are all the buildings that you just essentially lay down onto the moon surface that they provide. And then these are the travel tubes. This is how they connected one section of the base to the other. They would have these tubes, or subways if you will, that would allow one to travel from one section of the base to another. And finally, these are the 4 pieces that make up the lunar landscape here that you attach the buildings to. And when all said and done, it measures about 18 inches overall. What you're supposed to do here is trim the edges and attach them together, and of course work on hiding the seams. When I built this model originally, I actually attached these pieces to a wooden base so that it would be a lot more steady. Now, if you ask me, between the 2 seasons that the show was on, the first is the better of the 2. I think you'll find the stories a bit to be more imaginative. The second season was produced by a different producer altogether. In fact, his name is Fred Friedberger, who most of us Star Trek fans will probably credit to, let's just say, not producing a very spectacular 3rd season of Star Trek. So that, of course, is my humble opinion. But you'll find that between 2 seasons, the music is different, the tone of the show is different, and one of the things I thought the 2nd season fell into was the old Monster of the Week gimmick. Alright, so that does it for this preview here, and I'm going to go ahead and start with building the command center. And you never know, I may go on and build the base itself, but I don't know, I think I'm going to hold off on that really because I just don't have the room at this point. But I'll probably put a short video together as I'm building that. So if you have any questions about this model kit, feel free to let me know. The model, by the way, runs around $34, at least that's what I got it for, so it's not terribly expensive. And so if you have any questions about the kit or this video, please feel free to get in touch with me, of course. And as always, thank you again for watching.